So how does he have 30 employees if he doesn't even have a producer for his live show? What the f is he? Where are all these employees at? What the f?
Your failure, though.
It is my failure. If we can't make cameras and a computer work, and despite all the previous failures we've had, there's not a single person here who can make sure that either the studio is operating or secondary studio is operating. We've gotten to a point in the company where everyone's kind of just kicked their feet up and said, I'm doing what I need to be doing.
Yeah.
And then that just means I'm Sisyphus pushing the rock up. The problem is people are sitting on the rock. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of wild had to put that out there just like that on a podcast and make it public.
Poor leadership, by the way. I got to tell you, I'm a little surprised at Tim Pool. He's done one hell of a job, and I'm sorry to cut you off. That's poor leadership right there.
I'm not tired. I want to work, but I want to work effectively.
Sure.
And so there are ways to do big shows. Like I can keep doing my morning show. There's no issue.
Yeah.
I require 0 employees to do that. So I kind of feel like I shouldn't get paid less for, like, so I'll give you some stories. We've had instances of people who work here leaking private information to far leftists who are harassing and stalking us.
Oh, good.
Yeah. We've had instances of people stealing equipment, getting caught on camera. And it's just like, these things are normal. I totally get it.
Whose Fiero is that?
Wait, what? Hold on. I'm so sorry.
Far leftists. We've had instances of people who work here leaking private information to far leftists who are harassing and stalking us.
It's so hard without him saying anything. It's hard to know. Sometimes a lot of these people are just friends with each other. And by leaking information, it might literally just be like 2 people chatting. It's not like this crazy conspiratorial, like, oh, they're trying to stop. It's just like 2 people talking shit or whatever. Like, I get stuff through the grapevine. When I was friends with Lauren De Laguna, I would hear stuff through the grapevines from her about like stuff relating to people in like that in this world. And it's not like it was a crazy conspiratorial like leak to destroy the company. It's just like random shit that I hear, you know?
Oh, good.
Yeah. We've had instances of people stealing equipment, getting caught on camera.
Why wouldn't you call those people out? Who's stealing equipment? What the fuck? That's wild.
And it's just like, these things are normal. I totally get it.
Whose Fiero
Do you think it's normal to have your employees stealing equipment from your small business?
is that?
My brothers.
Okay, sweet.
It's cool.
Yeah. I'm sorry. You're talking about stealing stuff, and I just.
And you're like, I want that
I
Fiero.
want that Fiero.
Right when I got out, I was like, it's been a while since I've seen a
got 2.
Fiero.
He does.
I like the red one I saw, though. And I remember. Anyway, I don't want to throw you off, but.
No, but it's like, you know, this
Just
morning.
that's all I'm saying.
So it's, we wrap the show Monday through Thursday around 11.
Yeah.
And then I have to go right to bed basically so that I can get enough sleep. And sometimes I don't. So then I wake up around 7:30 so I can eat breakfast, get ready, come in, and then try and figure out how to get the show done. As of recent, because we want to do Culture War, that means if I'm going to balance family and these shows and have the show be effective without dwindling into obscurity, I can't do 4 shows a week. You can't do it right now. Everybody's got content every single day of the week, so that means I need to do at least 5 days and then record extra content for the weekends so that I can have a persistent presence on the platform. Otherwise, YouTube punishes you. But it's also just about, like, are you a company that doesn't work 3 days out of the week? I mean, then people are going to go other places. If a coffee shop's closed Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, then no one's
I'm
going to
going to go watch elsewhere.
However, I can't do all of these things at the same time. I can't wake up at 7, go in, computer's fried, studio doesn't work, no backups were created. I have no means of producing the show that makes money to run the business. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to do that. I'm going to have to make sure that I run and maintain and build the system. The first Timcast IRL studio that I built by myself. All of it. Now we're at the point where we've got multiple people and we've built this big studio. I don't know what is what. When I built the studio, I knew every output, I knew every input. Now I have no idea. So when the computer breaks, I'm like, I don't know why. Why can't I reboot the computer? I don't know. And so that means I can't turn it on. Where's the backup system? It was never set up. Okay, well, I can't do morning, night, and family stuff at the same time. Impossible.
Damn,
So
do you need a backup computer system? We don't got one of those. Oh, shit.
at this point, it's a cascade of failures and, you know, straws on the camel's back where I'm like, okay, I don't think this is it. And so
he makes it sound like he wanted the studio set up to run without a producer there, like how ours runs. So how does he have 30 employees if he doesn't even have a producer for his live show? What the f is he? Where are all these employees at? What the f?
Your failure, though.
It is my failure.
Why,
Absolutely.
the hiring practice? How do you see it?
The person at the top.
Always. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, it lies on you. Don't get me wrong. That's what they see.
I mean, I shouldn't rely on people. If I say the computer's broken, I need a backup studio, I should personally go and build a backup studio. The problem is, I can't do everything.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, but so there is something I can do. If I set up my own studio for my morning show, and I can make sure it works, and I can have, you know, youtube.com/TimCastNews, there will never be a failure ever again.
Yeah.
The show will run every single day. I will work a full day of work instead of a double day of work 5 days a week, and I'll make a lot of money doing it without doing a single ad read, all through programmatic YouTube ads. So if we've come to the point where I have to build the machines and run the show and be the CEO, then one of these things is I can't juggle them all.
Sure.
And so it seems like the most reasonable thing to do right now is literally just go back to doing the morning show. No Timcast IRL, single hosted, 0 employees, and then I can produce content, and that'll be it. And then I have to worry about running Timcast IRL.
You twice today, I think you mentioned managerial issues.
Yeah, and so one of the reasons I've been talking
Is that
about
right at you?
No, I'm not a
Okay,
manager.
I don't know.
I wish I was.
I was
We wouldn't have this problem.
I'm just trying to add some levity here.
I'm not convinced. I mean,
Yeah, well,
I've been talking about the managerial crisis in this country for like a year, and without getting into personal issues on the show.
Yeah.
So for a lot of people, like, how's it all happening at once? It's like, exactly. It's like, no. We've been having like managerial struggles for a long time.
Yeah, 'cause you have a good relationship with these guys, though. So it's like, how do you?
Yeah. Well,
what's-
most people here, right?
Yeah. Well, of course.
But it's like,
everybody
look at it this way. If everyone's 90% doing well, that extra 10% from each employee that they're missing, I have to do. And at a certain point, it's not possible.
Well, and the extra 10% is what each person has to do to actually get it to thrive. That's the difference between 90 and 100.
Well, I mean, the challenge is, right now, the big challenge is that anybody capable of doing it will do it on their own. And that's social media has created that potentiality, and that's fine. But if I go to someone who is talented and capable and I say, hey, we need a person who can film skateboarding, for instance, they're going to say, I'll just make my own YouTube channel and go film it myself. I don't need to work for you. And I'm like, fair point. You're right. So then we find someone, we're like, what about you? You seem to be able. And I'm like, sure. And then 3 months goes by and we don't do anything.
But what's more your passion? Like, what's your enjoyment now? Do you still
I mean,
like doing it? This is it. Yeah.
And so that's why it's frustrating when I wake up in the morning and I'm like, holy crap, Trump on the Friday.
There is a challenge in finding people to work when you're doing like YouTube and Twitch and stuff. Finding people who want to do manager or production related stuff, because chances are if you're on-screen talent, you probably get along with the production people, and then because you have a friendly back and forth, eventually they want to be on-screen talent and they all end up wanting to do that anyway. Like that can happen, but I don't know what he's not really giving any specifics, so it's hard to know what's actually happening here.
Yeah.
Look, I was like, and then there's so much I want to talk about. And
Yeah, that was a big story.
I can't talk about any of it. Like one of the Krasensteins attacked Trump saying he's attacking Kamala for not being at McDonald's. Can he prove he was at 9/11 clearing out rubble? And I'm like, here's a picture of Donald Trump. That was from ABC News of down on after a week after 9/11. Like,
Yeah.
Trump just said he was down there helping a little bit. Yes.
Well, allegedly, Tim Walsh is doing DoorDash, so you got that
Is he-
going.
no, is that a joke?
Yes. But I just want to see what they would do.
I
in
just stored it
return.
online. Thank you.
But it's believable.
My gut feeling is that he this is a gut feeling that I have, and I can't prove this because I don't know. This is what it feels like his business is set up as. It feels like he wants to do 4 shows a week where he basically just shows up, turns on the streams, okay, and then he sits in front of the camera and he talks about things. I don't think he does much in terms of show prep or research, because it doesn't seem informed on anything, and he just repeats kind of like the talking points. I'm not like trying to talk shit. I'm just saying it doesn't seem like something that he does a lot of research for his shows. He probably has at least one employee to fly people in and do bookings and everything. He might have 2 people that handle that. There's him, Tim, and then he might have like a co-host. I'm trying to think now if he even has a producer for these shows or if it's all auto switching. Maybe he'll have a producer. But then it sounds like what he has on the side is he's got a ton of these other projects where he's like, bro, like you guys should come in, like we're friends, like come and like work. And so they kind of show up, they either hang out at the house, they hang out at the skate park, and Tim's like, we should like shoot content or do something. Like let's like, make some money and do stuff. And they're like, yeah, sure, sounds good. But there's not a creative director. There's not like anybody pushing them to actually do a project or create a show or do anything. So so these people just basically hang out on Tim's property and they kind of hang out and do whatever. And he's like, maybe something will happen at some point. However, all of this was probably okay in the last year because they had that huge windfall from Russia, right? He was getting $5 million of extra money to basically do nothing extra. And that money was probably going basically exclusively to him. There's no way anybody else is getting any of that money. I would be surprised if anybody else had equity or shares in his business, although it's possible they did, but I'd be surprised if they did. So now that Russia money is gone, now Tim probably has to look at all of his different revenue streams and all of his different costs, and he probably has to start evaluating, okay, hold on, what the do I have here that's like making me money, and what the do I have here that's costing me money? And he's probably starting to axe a lot of the things that are costing him money and keep a lot of the things that are highly profitable. So things like the show, he kind of said it, right, when he's like, I can run this on my own. That's a very profitable venture, very low cost, very low overhead, right? So that feels like what's happening. There's no way he has 30 employees. He probably has 30 friends that are hanging out at the skate park and at his house and everything. And he's hoping that eventually they'll start making content or doing something, but they're not ever going to do that. Yeah.
Believable. That's why I'm like,
I know.
he's doing so.
Yeah.
I see there's a Newsweek article where they're like, rumors circulating on the internet that Donald Trump's McDonald's job was staged. And I was like, do they think that Trump applied at McDonald's and then showed up for work?
People they're trying to.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say they're trying to kill him. So what do they think? He's just gonna walk in there and be like, hey,
I know.
serve some regular people?
Yeah, anywhere with guns is bad. Even your own shrubs at your golf course.
Yeah. And then I saw a bunch of people being like, he pre-screened all the people who were getting food. And I'm like, yeah, because they just want to get shot.
Well, what is he supposed to do?
Yeah, like duh.
Well, so anyway, like I'm all yesterday, like I'm seeing this stuff and I'm revved up. And I'm like, well, I have family stuff to take care of. I can't, like I'm spending time with my family. I can't just.
He says his family stuff a lot. Does he have like a sick parent or something? Or because he's single, right?
want to get shot.
Well, what is he supposed to do?
Yeah, like duh.
Well, so anyway, like I'm all yesterday, like I'm seeing this stuff and I'm revved up. And I'm like, well, I have family stuff to take care of. I can't, like I'm spending time with my family. I can't just do the show 7 days a week. There was one weekend where I was like, I think I'll do shows on the weekend.
You tried to.
And then, my family doesn't get too happy about that.
I hear you.
Yeah,
You can't do
You
it.
gotta be happy outside of work as well.
Yeah, and I got responsibilities to other people too. So
Yeah.
Well, you'll lose your sanity. So, I mean,
Amen.
if
no, I
something
want to
you
do the show.
love-
you want
I feel like you want to do it, but you don't want to do it, right?
No, I want to come in the morning and complain.
Yeah.
And I mean complain in a somewhat self-deprecating way. What I mean is
Sure.
there are things that I think people should be aware of, and I also want to express how I feel about the current goings on. And it's a lot of people like watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the only reason I say this may be the last episode is that I have a bit of guilt of like the people who really are accustomed to and feel they need and that the world benefits from us doing the show.
Survivor's guilt.
Is that what it is?
I think that's a form of it.
No,
Yeah.
that's
I
not at
understand what
all
you're saying.
survivor's guilt.
100%,
But okay.
like folks who are waiting for this, like I still wait for the 10 a.m. If it's not there, then I'm like, what
Yeah.
the F's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I
this
get
show's
that
an accident
aspect.
too. This show's a complete accident. The show wasn't supposed to exist.
What
The
happened?
reason why it's called In Real Life is because I do my morning show, and then I was like, I can do my morning show from the road. So I went on Joe Rogan's show, and I told him, "All you're nuts. I'm gonna build a van and go live down by the river." And I was only half kidding. I told him I was only half kidding. I built a van with computer
Yeah,
studio.
I think I heard that video you posting. Like, you had a van in the back.
Yeah, it's on this channel.
It's a really nice van, by the way, folks.
What kind?
Not anymore.
I mean,
it's a
still-
Ford
yeah,
like
it
a
Ecoline?
It's clean.
F-150 or something. Like
No, you're right. It's like an Ecoline.
Ecoline?
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's got it
It's
had
a candy van.
It's got a big top on it and everything. It's real
It's
nice.
got solar panels,
yeah,
air conditioning,
yeah.
external air conditioning, or like secondary air conditioning.
Off-road tires too, because he loves the van
So-
or the river.
Wait, what is this show? Maybe it does do other shows I'm just not aware of. Tim Pool in Real Life is the name of the show. Oh, shit. Uh-oh. Jesus, 10 years ago. Is that what he called it? Was that the name of the show, In Real Life? Oh my God, Timcast IRL. Sorry. Wait, what was he talking about? What was he talking about this like van down by the river shit? Does he stream like outside and shit? That's how it started. Oh, okay, never mind. Okay.
Sweet.
I thought he was like going around like doing like on location or like live streams and like cute area. Oh, okay, my bad. He's just talking about how the
a
show.
popular pod.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
You got good tires on it.
that's just because they said we can go premium the tires.
yeah, yeah.
I was like, I don't know that about it. Actually, no.
put
The
giant
first
tires
tires
on
were
the
small.
Oh, were they?
And
Okay.
someone told me that they're gonna explode, and I was like, okay, I better upgrade them. But
Yeah.
the original idea, morning show done. Shout out to everybody. I'm currently hanging out in Austin, and come hang out, and we're gonna do Timcast in Real Life, where I just talk with random people.
Yeah.
I do remember that was one of the first things you talked about, like having like regular folk. Like I guess I might be the first
Right.
regular folk on the job. Like you just get people plumbers once a week or something like that.
Well,
just
the
real
original
people.
plan was to sit down
No
and
offense.
sort of like change my mind, or what Charlie Kirk does.
Yeah.
Be like,
Yeah.
who wants to sit down and just have a conversation, and literally be like, hey, today in the news was this. Like, hey, what do you think about what's going on? And I'll show you the stories. And it was just because I like talking to people, but because of COVID, we couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
And so
That's
I
what
was
I
like,
I thought that was because of COVID was mainly
Right.
the reason why you're doing that. Yeah.
couldn't travel anymore. And
Yeah,
I used to fly on two flights every week when I worked for these other companies. So like,
Yeah, during
traveled-
COVID, I just kept traveling, but it was very hard. You weren't supposed to, but it's like if you're short, you can just walk past people in the military and
see
just
you.
keep moving.
You don't notice they're looking up.
Yeah, I'll be like, I gotta pee. I'll be right back. They're like, yeah, he'll come back. He'll be.
What is he talking about? If you're short, you
Afraid,
can
and then I-
walk past the people in the military. Am I retarded? I traveled around a bit during COVID in the U.S. What were the military people for COVID? What?
Like,
Yeah, during
traveled-
COVID, I just kept traveling, but it was very hard. You-
It was an attempt at a joke? I don't remember there being any COVID travel restrictions at all. Were there? I feel like you would get the notifications on planes would be like, sometimes there might be COVID restrictions in the state that you travel to. But I'm trying to remember if we even required, did we need a proof of vaccine if you were traveling domestically in the US? I don't remember if there was or not. I know that internationally you absolutely did.
You weren't supposed to, but it's like if you're short, you can just walk past people in the military
They don't
and
see
just
you.
keep moving.
You don't notice they're looking up.
Yeah, I'll be like, I gotta pee. I'll be right back. They're like, yeah, he'll come back. He'll be afraid, and then I just walk out the door. It's pretty good. I did an entire year in New York. Sorry if that's still a crime, I guess. But
Yeah, we were in Jersey, and then
virus.
Some place had 14-day quarantines. Yeah, but none of it was enforced, I don't think. I don't remember, but
Might
the show
be
got very big.
bad.
Yes, it did.
It got big, and then I was like, okay, well, I mean, maybe we'll do something like this. Like, don't stop now. I mean, we seem to we're on a roll.
Yeah.
There is some reality that I think I've talked about before, though. But I used to get on YouTube.com/Timcast the
do you think that Pokemon and other Twitch streamers are getting paid to talk to Sanders, or are they doing it for free? You should ask them. Shouldn't they have to disclose that?
that I think I've talked about before, though. But I used to get on YouTube.com/Timcast the 4 p.m. video, a single half-an-hour video, would get anywhere from 300 to 500,000 views.
Right.
Your 4 p.m. was my favorite back in the day.
Yeah, and I never really did any legit ad reads. So like I'm talking like Daily Wire style ad reads.
I'll tell you, me neither. But that's just because not a great reader.
Well, if I did sell them, 500,000 could be like 10 to 15 grand.
Yeah.
For one read on one video. Imagine if I was getting that every single day. I wasn't doing that.
Yeah.
And so then I had YouTube.com/Timcast News, and between the two of them, it was like 3 to 4 million per day, and I think it was upwards of like 60, 70 million a month.
Damn.
Yeah. Well, and I will stress now, like a lot of these other channels are getting like 100 to 150 million, but those are including shorts, which is a lot easier to produce. So but
You have a Clips channel though.
for IRL,
Yeah.
the clips are on IRL.
It's the same channel.
Yeah, same
Oh, it
channel.
is the same
Yeah,
channel.
same channel.
Okay.
Post later. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's pros and cons to that. It's tough. It's hard. It's like if the people are gonna watch the show every night anyway, then they don't need a notification.
Yeah, ours is both where, you follow that algorithm, but then it doesn't know if you want to be a long show or a short show, and
Right.
you can't figure out any of it.
Exactly.
But then doesn't it change too how when people are searching for the show, you get a clip, and they want the 20-minute version.
The 20-minute
Version of you say you do clips or maybe not IRL, but your morning shows or anything. Your
The morning
short
shows have
clips.
always been segments that I would just upload throughout the day.
Yeah, that's
and
really
but
fairly new.
so yeah, what I was gonna say is when we started IRL, it cannibalized the morning show. So the morning show peaked at the 34th biggest podcast in the world, and when IRL launched, half the viewers stopped watching that and started going to the audio Timcast IRL show. And I said, no, I don't know. People probably like the conversation nature of it more than the monologuing show, but same, So then now the Tim Pool morning show, Tim Pool Daily News Show, or whatever, is not in the top 200. Sometimes it jumps up to like 190, but then it falls off again. And Timcast IRL, I think, was recently like number 160 in the world. But that's audio side. YouTube side, we do get is a big show, and we get a lot of views.
I'm 20,006.
Is that what your number is?
No.
Oh.
I'm guessing it's lower.
Yeah. But, so anyway, it's like, it comes to a point where it's like, now I'm working 16 hours a day for a diminishing return.
Right.
Whereas before I could have been getting 60, 70 million just doing a morning show, being done with work by 4 p.m., being able to do family stuff, plan
What is all this family stuff?
investments, maybe work on skateboard videos. If I'm being done with work by 4 p.m., being able to do family stuff, plan investments, maybe work on skateboard videos. If I wasn't doing, and so IRL is basically a diminishing return where now there's just 15 Tim Pool videos going up every single day and only so many Tim Pool fans. So it's like if I consolidated it down, would we get 40% of the IRL viewership to just watch the morning show again, and is IRL just cannibalizing? Would we lose? How much would we lose? I don't know. But the issue is the Tim Pool morning show requires 0 employees, 0 management. It requires nothing. I'm not going to deal with lawsuits. I'm not going to deal with security issues. Literally just wake up, handle all by myself, and run a successful show. I wouldn't have to rely on members to sustain the staff required to do a show like this or anything,
Have you been sued a lot?
Yes.
What is the staff required? Where is the staff? What are they doing?
I would assume, yeah. Not as a negative, I just assume.
And I'll tell you, like, what the problem I have with it is, I think, without, I don't want to throw him under the bus, but I just don't think anybody cares. When I say that I had to write a check for 30 grand because someone here fucked up, and then it's just like, keep calm and carry on, not my fault. And I'm like,
Write a check for 30,000 for what?
yo, I'm paying myself less than my morning show makes. If I just did my morning show, I'm putting more money in my pocket.
Yeah.
The company has a profit. That profit stays in the company. At the end of the year, the profit stays there so that we can make sure that there's a buffer. So the company makes money. At the end of the year, there's some profit. It will go to me automatically. And then I try to make sure there's money aside so that everyone gets paid. But I do kind of feel like we're at the point
What? Wait, I'm so confused. What is he? He's talking about he's talking like somebody who doesn't own a business. Hold on.
the company has a profit. That profit stays in the company. At the end of the year, the profit stays there so that we can make sure that there's a buffer. So the company makes money. At the end of the year, there's some profit. It will go to me automatically. And then I try to make sure there's money aside so that everyone gets paid. But I do kind of feel
Well, hold on.
like
I'm
we're at the-
sorry. I'm being uncharitable. When he says there's money set aside so that everybody gets paid, aren't they automatically paid like every month through payroll? But maybe if I'm being really charitable, maybe he means he gives employees bonuses based on money left over in the account at the end of the year. But then he also says that he gets all the money automatically. Why would he get all the money automatically? Unless it's just a pass-through entity, in which case he has a pass-through entity with 30 employees. Are you limited on how many employees like an LLC can have? I have no idea.
point where it's and end it all except for there's the reason I say it may be the last is we had a conversation today, Allison and I, about what's the most effective means of managing the issue. And it's okay, maybe what we do is we end 70%. We would keep Timcast IRL, a skeleton crew to have it operate, the morning show, and the boonies. We'd have one single secondary investment outside of the shows.
How many employees do you have? Employees? I think like full-time? 2 maybe? And then I've got like 8 other people I think that I employ through various, like I would call them contractors or whatever, but
And that would allow me more time to be hands-on to make sure that it operates properly. But that's more so just like, yeah, but doing that is still trying to justify why we have to keep
no, he's saying he keeps a buffer to make sure he has money there to continue paying his team because his revenue is not guaranteed as sporadic. How sporadic is his revenue? I don't believe that.
working as hard as possible.
Is your property more for your crew or because it's something you wanted?
Like doing the Freedomistan Boonies show.
that stuff, yeah.
Is what I wanted.
Okay.
And it's like there's actually several big components to it. Skateboarding is dead.
So it's fun.
The skateboard industry collapsed.
Yeah, oh, for sure it did.
And
I used to be a poser, thank you.
Oh, that's well, you shred.
Well, I would just get high and then I would watch my friends skateboard. I had a Cheech and Chong board for a minute.
What year was that? 91.
96.
Yeah, so like I love skateboarding.
I do too.
And
Well, not really.
We've got some of our buddies are some big pros and they love skateboarding.
Yeah, they're
and
awesome.
everyone's like I've talked to some of the biggest guys in the industry.
Okay, I don't know.
I'm calling.
13 minutes, bruv. Twitch creators on Podcast are linking to donations for banned streamers. Oh, that's so pathetic. Oh my god. When you've been a guest, did you notice the hustle and bustle of staff in the studio? At Tim's house, no, there were always a lot of people there, but I just assumed they were like friends and shit. They're just like people hanging out. I don't think I saw people like working. It's just like the best example. This is like Hassan activism, is like posting a fucking link somewhere. Behaze, leftist death threats. I'm actually seriously thinking about solving the small D problem myself. Nice. Chat logs between mods and channel owners of Sam Cedar's Minority Report. It's honestly sad seeing how captured they are, absolutely incapable of listening. The left really is in danger where this is the norm. If you're an inch to the right of them, you're a fascist. Let's see. Ethan Brain got broken and he needs to take a vacation. When Holocaust trauma is leveraged over war crimes, you get a response like Ethan Klein's. Fuck all genocide deniers, death marches in northern Gaza now. The world would be a better place. Wait, what? Like there are death marches happening is what he means, I'm guessing, right? Or I'm guessing? Ethan Klein has always had bad judgment, disbanding and defaming Hassan, praising sexual assault FouseyTube and grifter Jason Nash and Liver King. All the way back to Trisha Paytas. Klein is terrible. Blah, Jesus. Sam's okay. I don't care if Ethan said he hates BB or whatever. Calling Hassan pro-terror is a heinous smear. Jesus. Oh, it's the Majority Report, not the Minority Report, too. Based. This was the chat log when Sam Cedar was talking to us. What does Destiny have to do with the drama Caller was talking about? There's no sound way to defend Israel. It's the inevitable pathway to become a demon. Did Ethan mention the murder rapes in Israeli prisons between t-shirt promotion? Okay. Tim Pool's 30 employees are hard at work writing Twitter comments in his basement. Oh, good one. Oh, damn. Wait, was this the same clip? Jesus, this show has fallen off. They never got as many views as I thought, actually, though. Video views, negative 10 million. Does that mean they were deleting videos? Jesus. Okay. Oh, and then this is timestamped. All right, let me go through these. We got 4 Tim clips from that show, so we don't have to watch the whole thing. Let me watch these real quick.
This is probably pushing the limit of what I, as a CEO and host, can accomplish on my own. And so that means we bring in external management, which would be a strategic investment, partial buyout, and then you'll end up with another company running everything.
Okay.
Pretty much,
Yeah.
Wait, what? Why can't you just hire managers? Or like hire like a, or appoint like a COO or something, no?
Okay.
Pretty much.
Wait, what?
What I, as a CEO and host, can accomplish on my own. And so that means we bring in external management, which would be a strategic investment, partial buyout, and then you'll end up with another company running everything.
Okay.
Pretty much,
Yeah.
I hate that sound. I don't like it. I think I don't know.
And then what happens is
I can lead people. I've led many people. Throw me. Don't put, I'm just
a
saying,
guy in a
I got no
suit,
choice.
guy in a suit
I was
shows
here.
up, and
Let's go.
I just think the cost is too much. I think there's no way around it. We've got to shut everything down, and if we wanted to salvage IRL, we got to get it back down to 2 employees.
Okay.
Are you on the spectrum? And
Probably.
Wait, how do I look at this? Oh, watch full video, sorry. I'm sorry.
Pushing the limit of what I, as a
I don't like it. I think just
shows up,
here.
and
Let's go.
I just think the cost is too much. I think there's no way around it. We've got to shut everything down, and if we wanted to salvage IRL, we got to get it back down to 2 employees.
Okay.
Are you on the spectrum? And I don't mean that as a negative.
I,
'Cause it
I,
means
I,
like
would, I would believe the answer is no.
Okay, because you're very, very very
Meticulous?
direct. Yeah, my friend Matt McClory's is.
I think that's exasperation, not autism.
Okay, well maybe that's true. Maybe.
Because we've not talked about this stuff on the show before.
you've never done it. Okay.
Yeah, like I've never been on it. I've never come on and be like, I think I'm on the show.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
this is our first.
I
Well,
feel
you
like
have,
it's a
you
blanket
have
term,
sometimes.
but
But
it's
it's
like-
some dark holes. Like I said, like a year ago, you had like a whole week over. You were like in the down and dumps, and it was like, don't give up.
We have
That's when you were
laser
talking about
focus.
picking up the rock up the hill.
Yeah.
that was like about at
Yeah,
least a year
that's
ago.
Okay.
Can make sure a computer works for you.
So like, let me grab some chat here real quick so I
Yeah.
can help you. So Blake says, bro, why do you keep saying you make so much money but then refuse to hire some people like IT? We have IT people. It's because the answer isn't spending money. Money is never the answer. You know, I've met a lot of people in my day who say things like, if only I had money.
Wait, what? Hold on.
See,
Yeah.
they're doing their job, so somebody here can make sure a computer works for you.
So like,
Hold on. Maybe.
I know you're not. I'm not
yeah.
either.
For when it's dark.
Yeah, there may be a CEO who's like, if I introduce this product, we can see 3,000 deaths per year and start laughing about it. You know
Oh
what I
yeah.
mean?
Well, I mean, there are people that actually have those jobs where they have to decide how many people die or do we get the airbags fixed.
Right? That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a rough job.
Fight Club.
Fight
Remember?
Club is
yeah,
one.
when it does the
Yeah.
equation.
Yes. Yep.
If the cost of a lawsuit is greater, if the cost of a lawsuit is less than the cost of the recall, they don't recall.
Yep.
That's
Yeah, and that's just insane. They have to
Yeah.
make that choice. They're like, I guess this baby seat's flimsy.
Yep. That's wild, man.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy, but somebody's got to do that job. See,
Yeah.
they're doing their job, so somebody here can make sure a computer works for you.
So like, let me grab some chat here real quick so I
Yeah.
can help you. So Blake says, bro, why do you keep saying you make so much money but then refuse to hire some people like IT? We have IT people. It's because the answer isn't spending money. Money is never the answer. You know, I've met a lot of people in my day who say things like, if only I had money, I could do X. And I'm like, that is not true for literally any successful person. Successful people got hired, got their jobs because they were doing something already.
Right. Yeah.
So like my first YouTube video, for the first 3 months of me making YouTube, I was losing money. And I
They're not talking about you being a startup, my dude. They're talking about you hiring employees. What do you mean?
was like, I don't know, what else am I gonna do? I'm like kind of bored. Let me record a video. And then record some videos. The views started to go up. And I did the last night in Sweden thing. And that was like a few months in, and I had one big hit. And I was like, oh, I'm in Sweden now, I'm getting a bunch of views. And that generated a bunch of buzz. And then once I got back, I was finally making like $2,000 a month or something like that.
Nice.
And I was like, hey, look at this, I'm not losing money anymore. My savings is no longer burning up. And then I was like, let's just make more videos and see what I can do. And I was doing for like, I don't know, like a year. It was probably just one 10-minute video every day at 4 p.m. That was it. That's all it was. And I was probably making like 60, 70,000 a year. And I was like,
Just doing one 10-minute video?
Yep,
Nice.
one 10-minute video. And it started to go up. And then I remember off of one 10-minute video, I was in Jersey, I was in Bayonne, and I hit 6 figures. And like when I was working at Disney, I was getting paid a bit. They paid me a lot of money.
What did you do at Disney? Why didn't I know this?
So was Fusion. It was ABC News Univision joint venture.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, and I was one of their senior talent. And that was a ridiculous company. But so when I left, I'm like, I've got a lot saved. I had a couple $100,000 that I'd saved, getting paid all this money from this company. You know, like I basically saved all my money always. Worked at Vice, saved it all, then went to Fusion, saved it all. And when I left, I was like, okay, so several months, the money's just going down. And I'm sitting there thinking like, man, if I don't turn this around, if I keep if I use this money only right now to live, maybe I can stretch it out for 4 years. You know what I mean? Just, and then try and find ways to make money. If I invest and try and go the media route, I'm burned out in a year because flights, hotels, and then after the Sweden thing, I was net positive like $2,000 every month. And then I think it was about a year after that, I looked. It was back when when full
Something is off. It's almost like he wants to quit. Well, it sounds like he's just trying to cut costs now, and he's looking for an excuse to do it, especially now that he doesn't have that fat Russian money coming in.
screen was around, and they showed the daily amount of revenue every day, and I saw that it was like $50 a day, and I was like, holy crap, I'm getting $50 a day.
Yeah.
As long as I don't spend $50 a day, I'm making money. And I just did it because I wanted to do it. And then what happened was a lot of people were creating secondary channels in case they got the first one banned, which is stupid because it still breaks the rules.
Yeah.
So I made Timcast News. YouTube chose the name too. Like,
Oh, yeah?
Well, so I had a Google Plus page or something, and then it turned it into, I don't know. That's why YouTube.com/Timcast has Tim Pool, and YouTube.com/Timcast News has Timcast.
Right, your news
I did-
is your 4 p.m. and your pool is your 1 and 9.
the pool
or
was
10
at 4
and-
p.m.
Oh,
You
the
don't do
pool's
the
4
news
p.m.
anymore, right?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do the morning show.
Oh, right.
Oh, no, give me
Culture,
one.
right?
Okay, and then
Can make sure a computer works for you.
So like, let me grab some chat here real quick. So I can
Yes.
help you. So Blake says, bro, why do you keep saying you make so much money but then refuse to hire some people?
what is this?
Can make sure a computer works for you.
So like, let me grab some chat here real quick. So I can help you.
It's the
So
same clip?
Blake says, bro, why do you keep saying you make so much money but then refuse to hire some people? Like,
Okay, what is this?
see, I want to stress this too because people are like, Tim, don't quit. I'm not saying I'm quitting. I'm saying IRL. I have a morning show that I can do entirely on my own without any support at all.
Yeah.
And it is extremely difficult to do all of this at one time.
Question for you then: what do you want to do in real life?
Well,
Oh,
I'm
that
gonna do this
guy.
if possible. So I'm going to do the morning show, which I think the strategy is like shave everything down to the core, morning show, produce the content, and then from there regrow.
It would be fun.
A
It'd be
reboot.
something fun.
A reboot of sorts, do you think?
Yeah, IRL times. So we are we range from like we're consistently the top 10 live streams in the world.
Yeah.
In terms of viewership, in terms of super chats, we've consistently been the #1 human being hosted
yeah?
show because the VTubers make way more than us.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're doing a live show but you haven't.
Those are like the robot ladies or something?
Anime women.
Yeah,
okay.
You'll make
yeah,
more.
that's
Hey Destiny, no matter what you do, you'll never get back on Twitch. You're stuck here on Kick getting 1K viewers. You're a failure just like your political movement. You're nothing more than a bitter failure. Thank you.
that's the deal.
But so
People are
that's
trash.
great. But it's also just I don't know. It's been 4 years, and
I wanna-
we
honestly-
reached the point where I think. So here are the challenges. Clearly, we got to fire people. The problem is everyone's essential to a certain degree, and so that means the show's not going to function if we start.
You have 30 essential employees for a show with like 4 cameras and some microphones? What are you doing? Wait, what? I don't understand why they need so many people to run this.
To get rid of people. So then it's just like, do we put the show on hiatus and start reassessing how we define and hire people? And then what do? We wait 3 months of going through the hiring process and burning money so we can be like, who do we find? Who's going to be able to run this properly? And no. Or I just be like, look, I need to make sure that my show runs in the morning so I can live and feed my family and pay my bills.
Why does he keep saying feed his family? My understanding is Tim is single with no children. What is he talking about? Where did this family stuff come from? What is happening?
Waking up and not having a show for my morning show, I'm like, okay, well, who's paying the bills? If it's not going to get done, I don't have people who's going to run even that. It's annoying when we try and do Cast Castle, it fails. Cast Castle 2.0 comedy, it fails. Boonies, it fails. And I'm like, but that's ancillary investment, and that's my failure. I can't make it work. I get it. But when those projects result in me being unable to do the core show, which pays the bills, then it's just like, we're going to stop.
Yeah, you got subscriptions. Subscription models are where it's at because then it frees you up to do.
Who makes the product for the subscribers?
That's up to you. Basically, you get to make whatever you want.
Sure. So
whenever you want.
So IRL only exists because we have members. If every single member quit, IRL ceases to exist, period.
Yeah, memberships is legit. Dude, the Discord is so popping. I just did a game jam with a bunch of people from the Timcast Discord.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
others.
it's probably a good time.
We all these developers over 2 weeks developed video games, and then they did this contest. There were like 16 entries, and then they voted. They got down to 5 finalists, and then they had me come in with another guest judge, and we played the games live. And then they're like, we love everything you're doing, and we not they didn't say we worship Timcast, but they're like, dude, they're people that are like subscribing to the company. The games were awesome, by the way. Biggest Dickus Architectus was my favorite. It was one of the winners. It was a really cool game of like physics and stuff. So that was like an untapped market. I'm like, yo, if we hosted like a video game judgment thing where developers were just constantly creating games, passing them in, and then there was like a $1,500 prize that went to the winner. And
you might get like 2,000 people watching, maybe 10. I don't know if that's a big market.
Well, you create the market. This is the point. It's like you set the
For video
trend.
games, that's not bad.
What's that?
I think for video games, that's not bad.
Are you going
No,
off
it
topic?
was fantastic.
Yeah.
And like it's like another way to garner fans and give back to the community that's subscribing, and also to make money and to pay people that are up and coming developers. Like that was just like 2 hours for me. It was 2 hours of work.
Tim, would you do IRL instead of the morning show? Like, do you have a preference of
IRL can't sustain itself.
can't say stuff, even though
IRL requires the members to exist as a show because we need drivers, we need guest booking, hotel,
Yeah,
travel
a lot of
accommodation.
costs. Okay.
Drivers, guest booking, hotel, accommodate. What is he talking about? All of that is everything he just said is just one person for booking, and then have the person call an Uber, or have the guy that does the booking order an Uber. What are we talking about here? He just named all the jobs for one person.
Even though
IRL requires the members to exist as a show because we need drivers, we need guest booking, hotel,
Yeah,
travel
a lot of
accommodation.
costs. Okay. I see,
We could
I see,
also
I see.
do no gas. We don't need gas.
Yeah, they're worthless.
It's like it's great having them.
He's been saying naughty things.
And we
the whole time.
can,
Yeah,
really not.
we can, but that show me and you and Phil did was so
Hilarious.
awesome. Like we could just hang out. We don't need to fly people in every day. We could do like guests
Back
once
in
a
the
week
day,
or twice a
one
week.
old school?
Back when it was
You
him,
like
you and
once a
Adam,
week?
it was just as entertaining.
I mean, that's actually what I was saying is one of the core ideas is to just get rid of everything but the skeleton crew.
Yeah, and then just have guests whenever.
We can tell the guests if you want to come on the show, you drive yourself.
Yeah.
I mean,
people do it.
no more covering your plans, Dave.
This was the first time you did.
What do you mean?
I feel like I Ubered myself to every episode, but I'm trying to think. I drove myself to some, but that's because I like to rent cars. I might have Ubered myself by choice because I just like to drive myself. And I think I had to get a ride back because they lived way out in the middle of nowhere. So he does have drivers, I guess. But like, it's a driver. It's a person who drive a car. Like,
I always would book myself.
Oh,
I
really?
never wanted to burden anybody with.
No, you're such a nice man.
Yeah,
You
but
meet
they-
some people first class.
They jumped on it, and yeah, can you?
Yeah, let's do skeleton crew.
Well, we'll think about it.
But that's when
why are you flying people first class?
This was the first time you did. What do you mean? I always would book myself.
Oh, really?
I never wanted to burden anybody with.
No, you're such a nice man.
Yeah,
You
but
meet some people first class.
They jumped on it, and yeah, can you?
Yeah, let's do skeleton crew.
Well, we'll think about
But
it.
that's when you started blowing up too, Tim. Like OG fans,
middle seat.
you and Adam, and then young gentleman came around.
Oh, who's that guy? How long has he been here?
We have so many hosts
So
now.
yeah, it was you guys
That's
get
what I'm saying,
40,
we gotta-
40K likes a night. Remember ladies
Yeah,
and
but that
gentlemen,
was-
I'm gonna wear my MAGA beanie if you give me 40K likes tonight.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
But
how-
that
remember
was
those times?
also during COVID.
True,
And so
okay,
viewership
true.
on everything for people
Yeah.
locked in their homes was
And
massive.
people
also
would
that-
kill you for wearing
They
that.
called it lightning in a bottle. You and Adam, your old school friendship, like kindling into this business. Really, it was like just crazy energy.
You know,
and
look, the show was supposed to be on the street. It was supposed
Yeah.
to be out of a vehicle where I would
Yeah.
interview regular people and just hang out and do a podcast. I was talking with regular folks.
Yeah.
It changed up a lot.
It can. They.
It's Stu Burnham
We got
somewhere.
so many hosts. We got Phil, Libby, Seamus when he feels like it, Hannah Claire, Raymond,
I'm not a
me,
host.
Serge. It's hilarious.
hang
I'm
out.
so glad you're talking
I
again.
like that
Serge.
Ian's naming names.
Dude, I'm dropping.
It's all of them. It's all their
I'm
fault.
going back to the Ross Dresser last apparently, my friends.
And like, God, we can have other people come in too. There's so many people that
Oh,
want
you're
to.
saying positive things. Oh,
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. Like
He's not naming
people that
names.
work at
Okay.
Timcast. Even like Wesley's hilarious. Carter Banks is awesome.
Okay.
Where is what's going on there? And so, I think that's,
I mean, another guy in this field just said he's glad Michael passed away, so he didn't have to deal with this.
Yeah, I
too.
thought it too, and I thought it was absolutely despicable.
I mean, that is
Scraping the bottom.
that is a different a beast altogether. That is just somebody who is haunted by embarrassment. I mean, the idea that I can tell you, and I appreciate the phone call. I can tell you that
Oh, yeah, thank you.
that dude, if he passed away, not only would Michael not be referencing that person 4 years later, I think it would take maybe 3 or 4 weeks. I mean, honestly, like that is.
Oh my God, I don't care. All right, PBD, the craziest dude. Chael Sonnen slams Tim Pool for canceled show over staff drama. One business mogul titan giving business advice to another podcasting titan.
Podcast, and he's done a very good job on growing his audience, and he's got a loyal following. Apparently yesterday, you're saying, Rob, yesterday he said he's shutting it down?
It's debate.
He said the IRL...
A sport or profession for you to find, for you, or a method to find truth, meaning what motivates you to perform and utilize your debate skills. I'm just combative by nature.
Show that he does. So apparently Tim does 2 separate shows.
Can you find a clip that he actually breaks it down?
It's like 40 minutes long.
No, it's not. You should find one that's going to be 20, 30 seconds long.
Rob, tell me what IRL means, by the way. In real life. Oh, in real life. All right.
Like us right now, Joe. Like us right now.
Rob, what do you know about the story? What do you know about what's going on?
Basically, what he was talking about was, and it's something we've talked about, is that he, as the host of the network, cannot also be the CEO of the network. What happened was, I guess they built a separate studio that he hosts the IRL show from. However, he didn't build that studio himself. He built the first studio that they do their daily show out of. Okay. He knows the inner workings of that studio. So if a computer goes down, Tim knows how to go in and fix it. However, he didn't build the second studio, the one that the IRL was shot from. And apparently there was a computer that malfunctioned. He had to switch studios at the last minute. And what he was saying is that, hey, I have people on my staff who are not putting in 100%. They're putting in 90%. And I cannot make this company grow as both the host and as the CEO of the company. There needs to be people that take this vision and run with it just besides me.
Okay, so I think I found a clip. I found a 43-second one and I found a 3-minute one, Rob. If you can see which one it is, as long as there's no music, play one of them so we can see his answer. Go ahead, Rob.
But yeah, I think this might be the end. We are.
Can we do anything with this music or no?
We make a lot of money. But
what do you think?
IP, we can find it.
Okay, go
They just turn it all off. Yeah, we can do no sound and lip read.
Good. Sounds like an adult song.
It becomes bigger and bigger and bigger until it becomes impossible to manage. You know, I never call out anybody personally.
Pick this up. This is an Adele song. Go back and play the other one, which isn't, and I think he posted it. I sent you 2 of them. All of a sudden, we're going to hear this Adele song and start getting emotional.
I don't want to start crying.
I don't want to really cry. It happens a lot, but
I only have one clip in my text.
Rob, there's another one that is 40.
Oh, also, just as a quick shout out for the stream, okay? If I have people here that work in politics, okay? I am looking to purchase API access to anybody that does aggregation of the presidential election results. We have one offer, but especially if you work for AP or Reuters, okay, my base duders, we are looking to purchase a license for API access for night of election results. If you are in a position to offer that, or if you know somebody who can, or if you guys do anything like that, shoot me an email, okay? Email me, stephenbonnell@gmail.com, okay? Or DM me on Twitter or whatever the fuck, but yeah. I guess you basically, I'm looking for somebody who either is connected to AP or Reuters, because I think there's only a few companies who even have access to this data. So if you can, I would love you.
Song and start getting emotional.
I don't want to start crying.
I don't want to really cry. It happens a lot. But
I only have one clip in my text.
Rob, there's another one that is 43 seconds that he says he's going to be stopping. If you just go on X and just type in, yeah. So is this the one?
Yeah, 43 seconds.
Let's see this one without music.
We had our like, I don't know, 12.
Wow. Really? Am I allowed to mention these prices publicly, or is this NDA? Jeez. Man, they don't around with the pricing on this. Okay. I don't think I can say it publicly. Sorry. Ask me in 1 year, okay?
Studio failure this morning.
The new one.
Yeah, the new studio failed. And, my attitude with that is kind of just like, if we can't make cameras and a computer work, and despite all the previous failures we've had, there's not a single person here who can make sure that either the studio is operating or secondary studio is operating. We've gotten to a point in the company where everyone's kind of just kicked their feet up and said, I'm doing what I need to be doing. Yeah. And then that just means I'm Sisyphus pushing the rock up. The problem is people are sitting on the rock. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of wild, Pat, to put that out there just like that on the podcast and make it public.
It's poor leadership, by the way. I got to tell you, I'm a little surprised at Tim Pool. He's done one hell of a job, and I'm sorry to cut you off. That's poor leadership right there.
I agree.
There's nobody here. Well, find somebody. You got the checkbook.
Well,
wait, would you apply that to Donald Trump? Just curious.
There's a big difference between being a great podcaster and a smart guy and having a great, voice versus being a businessman. It's very hard to do both. So, I mean, luckily we have literally one of the only guys in the world that is what I would call a triple threat. You can be a CEO, entrepreneur, also a manager, a coach, building a team, but also one of the greatest thinkers and minds and conversationalists. It's very unique. Tim Pool, smart guy, opinionated, knows his stuff. I don't know his business acumen. I don't know. I mean, we've spent time with his team. I love Ian. Luke's a good.
regardless of what I think about, I don't know about the PBD dude. Don't think I've heard Adam say retarded shit about business ever. I don't think I have. And what he just said there is true. It's kind of addressing what I said before. You can't wear all the hats at the same time. And usually people aren't even good at all the things even independently. So yeah, what he's saying is true here.
Good dude. We know his team, Josie. I don't know how it works, but there's a major difference between being a pundit and a great speaker versus being a great businessman.
Was that sincere, though? Was that sincere, or was he just putting people on notice? It sounds like he's looking to hire a COO. It sounds like somebody can step forward.
Yeah, COO. Yeah, that's what I was saying. You need a chief operating officer. This is what I need for my company.
That's maybe what he needs to do. Yeah, bring a businessman in, much like Ben Shapiro brought in Jeremy Boring type of thing. It's a unique situation.
But to do it publicly like that, like now if you think those people are 90%, those people right now are down to 60%. Think about it. That means the whole internal group is like, wait, what the hell?
Well, there's inner conversations and external conversations.
That's true. Unless he's just trying to raise money off of people being sad, so he can milk his fans. And he might literally be thinking like, I'm going to cut all these non-profitable ventures anyway because I'm not getting my Russian money anymore, which I think is probably more likely. That's probably what's happening.
Yeah, that's team meeting, not an external conversation.
Go ahead, Tom. I'm going to hear you, and then I'm going to give my thoughts.
I think I'm reacting the same way you are. Why don't you go first?
Yeah. So look, we've had you guys see this, but you also see that behind the scenes, right? You've seen both. So we've had people that have left and said bad things about us. I ain't got time for that. What do I say to you guys? What's our rule? I'm nothing to say. We're moving on. Yep. Okay. We're doing our thing. You come say what you want. We'll react, but at the same time, we're moving on. Guys want to make comments. We'll do our thing. In regards to something like this, something for him to be thinking about. I don't know how many people want to move to West Virginia to work there. I don't know. Maybe you chose the wrong state. Okay. And maybe the pool of talent in West Virginia is not that wide. Maybe you should consider going to Dallas. Maybe you should go to Austin, where Rogan, Musk are at. So when one talent doesn't work out.
That's true. If you want talent to work on site, if they have to be local, they live in the middle of fucking nowhere. The only reason why, because I try to think, do I usually Uber there or do they give me a ride when he said drivers? And I remember, I think I get rides back. The reason why I remember that is because the bumfuck town that they live next to literally doesn't even have Uber at night. Like if you try to Uber from there, there'll be no drivers for like 50 miles. Because I think me and Melina Ubered one time and it was like a 37-minute wait for somebody. Sorry. Anyways, I think that these guys are, if like Tim Pool lives out in the middle of nowhere. Like if you call an Uber out there, it's like 37 minutes to get a ride. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
God, at least you can. Maybe you should consider going to Miami. Who the hell is wanting to move to West Virginia?
Yeah.
I mean, I know there was a song with named West Virginia, and the song wasn't even supposed to be about West Virginia. It just rhymed better. You know the song that I'm talking about, right? Yeah, it's a great song.
Denver, I think.
Right, it's a phenomenal song, and he was trying to talk about Colorado, I believe. And it just West Virginia rhymed better, right?
Worked out well
this guy's capable, he's talented, but let me tell you, Tom said the best thing to me 15 years ago, okay? And one of the best lessons, I never understood it until Tom broke it down for me. He says, Pat, do you know the most money I've ever made in my life when I was the CEO founder versus I was number 2, number 4, number 5, number 6 in the company?
The most money I ever made in my entire life. The lower he goes, maybe, because he's not having to work as much. Is he measuring it per hour? I don't know.
I've always made more money as a number 2 than a number 1.
Oh, okay, or that, okay.
Tom is one of the smartest guys in the world. My opinion, one of the smartest guys I know in my life. Brilliant, can go any topic, any range, anywhere. He can be a lawyer one minute, he can be a CFO another minute, he can be a talent another minute, he can be a pollster another minute. The most ridiculous brain to have. I don't understand that part, right? But he understands he's not a founder. He's not a CEO. If you want to scale a business, he's going to make more money on the other way around. Tim may be needing to look at where to go. Maybe, I hope he hasn't ruined a lot of relationships where people would be willing to entertain him to go in different companies because he is capable. And if you don't do that, you can find places to go. And the last thing I will say about this is the following. Marriage is hard, okay? It's hard, very hard. A lot of them don't work out. If it doesn't work out, it typically takes 2 to tangle, right? It's not one person that screwed it up. Everybody wants to always blame the man first. And then 6 months later, like, oh, okay, so it's her. And you're like, no, it's probably both of you guys. Cool. Listen, none of my business. Listen, bro, all good. Whatever you need, I'm here. Man, I wish you guys the best. Let me know how I can help as a brother, as a friend. Cool. It's not pretty. Kids pay price. All that stuff happens. Running a business is hard. Being a talent is hard. Don't forget what happened a month ago. The accusations about Russia. The accusations about $100,000 per episode and all this other stuff. So all of
$400,000.
This pressure could also be hitting you at the same time that you almost need something to say, let me effing take a break from all of this BS. You have to understand the line.
That is, oh fuck, I hate this fucking guy for a variety of reasons. Maybe he does understand this. What he's saying is true. Talent is hard because you can never phone in your job. It's one of the biggest challenges of being talent is you can't like have a shitty day at work and show up, because if you do, it's gonna be reflective in your performance, and then it's going to get even worse, and it spirals. It's like a death spiral. It's very, very hard when you're on-screen talent and you have to try to like do a performance and you're fucking miserable. It's really, really, really rough.
You almost need something to say, let me effing take a break from all of this BS. You have to understand the limelight isn't for everybody. I'm talking to Kevin McCarthy. He was here on the podcast, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, right? And we had a very interesting conversation with him. I thought it was going to be an hour podcast, ended up being 2.5 hours. I couldn't believe some of the stuff I learned about the guy. And we're talking about different candidates. We're walking and said, I'm not going to give the names. And he says, that person that you think is going to run for office in 2028, I don't think it's going to happen. I said, tell me why. He says, because he's not battle tested. I said, tell me what you mean by battle tested. He says, you think that person can handle them talking about the personal life and all the shit that he's done in the past? You don't know that. Most of these people hide from that kind of stuff. They can't handle that kind of stuff. This is very, very hard. He said, Trump is battle tested. These guys are battle tested. Most of these guys are not battle tested. This is not an easy game. So for me, seeing him go through this, if there's any feedback I can.
Trump was not battle tested, by the way. I legitimately think that's one of the reasons why Trump is so brain broken, is because he is not battle tested, and he really did have a hard time dealing with attacks from other people. The Clintons were definitely battle tested. I'm trying to think of who else. Trump definitely. Biden's weren't as much. I think Biden had trouble dealing with, although the political campaign was still better. I'm thinking of 2020 and before. But him saying Trump was battle tested, that's kind of silly, I think.
Can't give him. Tim, you're actually a talent. You actually good at what you do. You actually good at talking shit. You actually good on Twitter. You actually got a lot of this stuff that you're capable of doing something long term. Maybe your ego's bigger than you think, and maybe you got your ass handed to you a little bit this last 12 months. And maybe you need to, sit back and say, who do I want to be in life? Maybe go read this book called Your Next 5 Moves and question. I'm being serious with you. The move number one is, who do you want to be and what kind of a life do you want to build? Most people screw up life because they think they're Trump. They think they're Rogan. They think they're Ted Turner. They think they're Steve Jobs. They think they're Elon Musk. And most of the time, you're not. You're Tim Pool. If you can find what the best positioning for Tim Pool is, you need to stay in this game because you're actually very capable. And the market benefits from you being here. And by the way, sometimes you think everybody spends the entire day thinking about you screwing up and all this stuff. People have a life that moved on. No one gives a shit. Maybe they'll talk shit about you for a week. Maybe it lasts a month. They're moving on. People have a life that moved here. And Tim Pool is, you need to stay in this game because you're actually very capable. And the market benefits from you being here. And by the way, sometimes you think everybody spends the entire day thinking about you screwing up and all this stuff. People have a life that moved on. No one gives a shit. Maybe they'll talk shit about you for a week. Maybe it lasts a month. They're moving on. And the ones that cling on this stuff and they always say the same shit, who cares? Let them be around. They're entertained. They don't have much more to do than to do that. But
I don't know if I'd agree about that. Certain content creators definitely have haters that hang on for a long time. Tim Pool is probably one of those. But.
And they're like, skateboarding is.
Do you know how ridiculous of a lie you have to tell for Trump to break character? LeMayo. Imagine uploading a video to fucking Imager.
My issue was more the energy. I've been paying $2,100 since I first opened up. In the last 7 months, it shot up to $15,000.
What?
My issue was more.
He gave him the what? He gave him the WAT IRL. He gave him the IRL what?